Hello, and welcome to this Bubble.io tutorial. Today, we're going to build a responsive sign-up form in Bubble.io. We'll cover creating the form layout and adding custom fields for signing up new users. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a sign-up page ready to use in your Bubble app with proper input fields and a workflow that securely signs up new users. Let's get started. Step 1. Creating and renaming a new page. First, we need to create a new page for the sign-up form. Head to your Bubble editor, click on the Pages drop-down in the top toolbar and select Add a new page. We'll name it Sign Up to keep things simple. Step 2. Setting page responsiveness. Now that we've created the page, we need to adjust the page layout for responsiveness. Change the layout to column to ensure the elements we add will stack vertically and resize properly on different screen sizes. In the property editor on the right, find the container layout drop-down and select column. This way, all elements we add will behave in a mobile-friendly, column-based layout. Step 3. Adding a full-width row group for layout. Now, let's add a full-width row group that will contain 2 columns, one for the company logo and another for the sign-up form. First, drag a group element onto the page and set its layout to row. This will allow us to place 2 columns side by side. Make sure the row group stretches the full width of the page. Uncheck the Fit Width to Content box to enable full width. Next, uncheck the Fit Height to Content box to ensure it covers the entire length of the page. Step 4. Adding 2 full-length column groups. Now, let's add 2 column groups inside the row group. These will be our left and right sections. The left column will contain the company logo and the right column will be the sign-up form. Drag 2 groups into the row group. Set each group to column in the property editor. We want each column to take up 50% of the row. To do this, uncheck box Fit Width to Content to allow the groups to stretch the full width. Like the row group, we want these groups to stretch the full height of the screen. In the vertical alignment settings, click the very right option, Vertical Stretch, so that both columns cover the entire length of the page. Step 5. Styling the left column. Let's now style the left column. This column will be coloured and will contain the company logo. Select the left group, go to the property editor under Appearance, and change the background colour to something that fits your brand, like blue or grey. By default, there will be no background style. We can change this in the Background Style, drop down by selecting Flat Colour. This will enable background colour options. You can then select your brand colour. Next, add an image element inside this column and upload your company logo. Adjust the logo size and the padding in the property editor to make sure it looks proportional. Step 6. Making the left column responsive. Now we'll make the left column disappear on smaller screens. In the property editor for the left group, head over to the Conditional section. Add a condition that hides this column when the screen width is less than 692 pixels. Click Define a condition and set it to when current page width is less than 692. Under Actions, select This element is visible and uncheck the box. This ensures that the left column disappears on smaller screens, creating a more mobile-friendly experience. Step 7. Creating the sign-up form in the right column. Now, let's move to the right column, where we'll build the sign-up form. Start by dragging a text element onto the page and rename this Sign Up. Proceed to change the font and sizing to match your brand's style. Next, drag an input element into the right column. This first input will be for the first name field. Let's add 6 pixels of top and bottom padding and 12 pixels of left and right padding to style this input. In the property editor, set these padding values for the input. Once you've styled the first input, copy it 3 times. Now, we have inputs for first name, surname, email, and password. Let's go through each input and rename them. Rename the first input to input first name, the second to input surname, the third to input email, and the last to input password. For the email input, change the content format to email. For the password input, change the content format to password to ensure the text is hidden as users type. To ensure your user knows what each input field requires, we can add a placeholder for each input that explains its function. Next, we'll add a button below the inputs. Drag a button element onto the page, label it Sign Up, and rename it in the property editor to Sign Up Button. Now we'll style the spacing of our form. Go back to the right group, and in the property editor, add a gap between the elements. This ensures that the inputs and button have proper spacing and don't look cluttered. Whilst in the right group, we can change the container alignment to centered to keep all elements within the center of the group. Finally, go through each of the input fields and in the property editor, set their alignment to center. This will keep all the form elements neatly aligned in the center of the page, giving it a clean, professional look. Step 8. Setting up the workflow to sign a user up. Now let's create the workflow to sign up a new user. Select the Sign Up button and go to the Appearance tab. Add a new workflow action. This will take us to the Workflow tab. Click here to add an action and select Account, then sign the user up. We'll map the inputs to the corresponding fields. For the email field, select Input Email's value. For the password, select Input Password's value. Before we map the inputs to the workflow, we first need to add new data fields to the user database for the first name and surname. To do this, head over to the Data tab at the top of the editor. In the Data Type section, select User from the list. Here, you'll see the fields already associated with the user, like email and password. Now, let's add 2 new fields to capture the user's first name and surname. Click on the New Field button. Name the first field First Name and set its type to text. Next, click New Field again and create a field called Surname, also setting its type to text. With the new fields added to the user database, let's go back to the Workflow tab and continue building the workflow for the Sign Up button. Now, we need to save the first name and surname to the user database. Add a step to this workflow by clicking Add an Action, then choose Make Changes to a Thing. Select Current User as the thing to change. Next, we'll map the fields, set first name to Input First Name's value and surname to Input Surname's value. This ensures that the user's first and last name are saved along with their email and password during the sign-up process. After the user signs up, we want to redirect them to a new page that will display your app's content. On your workflow, click here to add an action. Under Navigation, click Go to Page. From here, we can select the page where we want the user to be taken to upon successful sign-up. Step 9. Storing user data and privacy of passwords. Before we finish, Let's talk about how Bubble stores passwords. Bubble securely encrypts passwords, meaning that no one, including developers, can access or view them. When users sign up, their passwords are stored in a secure, encrypted format, ensuring their privacy is fully protected. And that's it. You've successfully created a sign-up form in Bubble.io. In our next video, we'll cover how to set up a login form for existing users. Thanks for following along, and see you in the next video.